Coming up on today's Ohio State football report, some good news after the Team Up North spring game, which is on tape delay and won't air until the weekend, which is just stupid. We got transfer portal rumors to discuss with that still ongoing for the spring window, and a new crystal ball prediction on the regular recruiting side for Ohio State. We are in a like battle this month against the Alabama football report. We're down, but that might seem like a lot. It's really not. 1,500 is... for some channels, that's a single video. Maybe not for us. But let's see how much ground we can gain on today's show. Like the video, especially if you want more free Ohio State football YouTube videos. Let's check in on that team up north. Bryce Underwood, the number one player in the class of 2025, who the Wolverines are hoping ends up emerging as their starter in year one, did not have a great showing in the again, still yet to be aired spring game because it's on tape delay in 2025, which is insane to me. It's just, you can always just re-air it later. Anyway. George Eisner had this to say on Bryce Underwood. Completed just 11 of his 25 throws for 99 passing yards and an interception. By the way, George is over at 11 wars. Got to mention that. Before Michigan opted to run a reverse flea flicker on the final snap of the spring game. That did yield an 88-yard touchdown pass from Underwood to tight end Jalen Hoffman that greatly inflated an otherwise very disappointing stat line. Underwood also surrendered 2 sacks, recovered one of his own fumbles, took a pair of delay of game penalties in a spring game, ran the ball 3 times for 17 yards. Although his completion percentage suffered in part due to some drops from his receivers, those in attendance still describe many of his throws as errant, high, and wide. Respectively, they are not the same without Jim Harbaugh. The team is just not as good because the coaching is a little bit worse. Look, asking a true freshman to start is a very tough ask. Joking here, to clarify, why is he built like me a little bit? Well, he got that dad bod. Also, not joking, he actually needs body armor. It's fine. It's not a big deal. But anyway, asking a true freshman to start is a tough ask. True freshman at a Big Ten Power 5 program. It is very fair, safe, and expected to say he is going to have his year one struggles. That's why OSU doesn't want to start Tavian St. Clair either. This is a prime opportunity to end that losing streak. And frankly, it's borders on unacceptable if you don't. You're coming off a national championship, like that's great, and that matters more, to be clear, you have to beat them. Like, it's kind of a joke to not. The team up north quarterback battle isn't overly intriguing. There's Bryce Underwood, Mikey Keene, who, I don't think he's any better than Devin Brown would have been, at best. Jaden Davis, who's a young, talented kid, but they wanted to be Underwood. They paid him a huge contract. Like this, you should win this year. So what is your concern level about facing them in 2025? 10 is you're freaking out. You think they got OSU's number. 1 is you're not worried about it at all, but it is a rivalry game, so you can't really put it at 0. It is the pinned comment on today's show, so if the ad comes here on YouTube, take advantage of it. Head down there and let me know. Portal update. 2 defensive line transfer portal targets have locked in visits to Ohio State this upcoming week. An obvious area of concern for the Buckeyes that they want to add some talent, and they're getting a visit in that I am extremely interested in. That is Beau Atkinson, who is going to end up being a 2026 NFL draft pick. Had 12 TFLs, 7.5 sacks last season for UNC. I was kind of surprised to get the portal. That is frankly one of the best Tar Heel players returning, and Bill Belichick unable to retain him. He's got big interest. The final 2 here, Ohio State and a team the Buckeyes have kind of over the years in the recruiting side more than the portal side lost out on some potential targets to, Georgia. Landing Atkinson would be huge. I think this should be at least the number 1 portal target for Ohio State. I would do everything possible to land him. I think he is a significant boost to a defensive line group that very clearly needs it. Another player here is Georgia Southern defensive tackle Troy Pikes. He is going to visit Ohio State, by the way, on Friday. This one is interesting to me because the production hasn't really been there more than anything else. Now, he's done a decent job in terms of generating pressures. The results haven't necessarily been there, which I think is a red flag, a concern. But this is clearly someone I think who the underlying metrics, I think he was a redshirt freshman last year for Georgia Southern. Given who is interested in him, this is clearly someone a lot of top teams have eyes on. And I think this is almost like a teams reached out to Pikes and he kind of went, I'm going to get a lot of interest here. OSU, Georgia, Ole Miss, Georgia Tech, South Carolina. The raw numbers don't pop up, but this level of Power 5 interest certainly does. Plus, I think the Buckeyes have a pretty good eye for being able to identify some of those G5 to Power 5 transfers. Or G5 to Power 4, excuse me. Now, today's show is made possible by Game Time. Game Time makes some tickets even faster and easier. Prices in the Game Time app actually go down the closer it gets to first pitch or puck drop or tip-off. With killer last-minute deals, all-in pricing, and views from your seat, plus their lowest price guarantee, Game Time takes the guesswork out of buying MLB tickets. You can get up to 60% off buying those last tickets, not just for sports, but concerts, comedy, theater, etc. Game Time Picks makes getting last-minute ticket buying even easier than ever by quickly highlighting the best deals in the stadium, arena, concert hall, whatever it is. Game Time has you covered. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create your account, and use code CHATSPORTS for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. But again, create your account, redeem code CHATSPORTS, ChatSports, for $20 off your first purchase. Terms do apply, but download the Game Time app today. Create your account, redeem code ChatSports for $20 off. More portal buzz. Ohio State has reportedly reached out to BYU wide receiver Keelan Marion. That is per Hayes Fawcett, which means it's per Keelan Marion, which I find interesting. He's a 1,000-yard career receiver over at BYU. I don't think a lot of us would view wide receiver as a priority focal point for the Buckeyes, given the sheer volume of talent, young and even somewhat established talent, that they have on that roster. But maybe they view Marion as he's too good for us to not have some interest in. So, in general, should Ohio State add a wide receiver in the portal? Why for yes and for no? Let me know in the comments section of today's show. Another update here of a potential target, no longer a target. Offensive lineman David Stone has withdrawn his name from the transfer portal. No relation to producer Stone Shields, by the way. Significant development there for Oklahoma. He was a 2024 5-star recruit. Maybe the NIL bag came in through from the Sooners, who have been actively landing Jaden Ott and others. We have another crystal ball prediction to get into. 4-star 2026 offensive lineman Pierre Dean is the prediction from Bill Kurlick for Ohio State. He is as mentioned, a 2024 4-star recruit, or 2026 4-star recruit, excuse me. We're not going back in time. Number 54 overall on the 24/7 Sports Composite rankings. He is the number 4 ranked interior offensive lineman. He's out of North Carolina, by the way. He is the number 5 ranked player in the state. Looking to go outside of the state. He's got some more local, I'll call it, schools. Georgia, South Carolina, and the Buckeyes there at in that final top 3. Which would be another offensive line, which I think makes sense. I think this team has been a little light/missed on some offensive line recruits. They go heavy this year. That sets them up very well into the future. So this is where the current 24/7 Sports recruiting rankings currently sit. USC is number 1. We'll see how long that lasts. It's very early, by the way. Clemson is 2. OSU checks in at number 3. They have 11 commits right now, by the way. A&M is 4. Notre Dame 5. LSU 6. Penn State 7. And then some volume classes, because that's how it typically goes when you're in April. Kansas at 8. North Carolina at 9. Illinois at 10. Kansas, probably UNC, Illinois, certainly not going to stick around the top for too much longer. We'll have more videos for you here on the Ohio State Football Report. It's free, it's simple, it's easy. Go subscribe so you don't miss out. YouTube.com/GoBucks. We'll keep you updated all off season long.